Okay, we are back messing with Candy Kane. In this video, that's all we've done is just mess with Candy Kane. So, as you may have seen, Candy Kane has something going on with this 481. Still runs good, but the oil has some contamination in it. It's got some dark gray, and I'm not happy with that. So, before I cause any more damage to it, we're going to go ahead and get this motor pulled out and put the 402 back in there. I've got the 402 about ready to go back in. I went ahead and put the tunnel ram on the 402. I did an oil change. I got the new starter going on that I pulled off of the 481. So we got a few upgrades this time. The last time I ran Candy Kane was at George Ray's back in October, and I ran 8th mile. Run a this is a junkyard 402 now, so I run a 902 and 905 and 904. It was just running 9.0s pretty much real consistently. I don't know if this is 30 or what, but running 9.0s consistently. So, and that was with a 1800 stall with the old transmission. Well, this transmission, but it was before I rebuilt it. And that was running through 2 1/4 inch exhaust that I've had on here since I had a 305 in here 7 years ago. So this time it'll have some upgrades. I went to 3-inch straight exhaust. I went to a 4000 stall with a fully built transmission. I went to a tunnel ram. So I'm going away from a dual plane intake with a 750 vacuum secondary to a tunnel ram with 2 vacuum secondary 750 Edelbrocks. And I think it's going to work okay. It may be a little much, but it's only going to use what it needs, and I think it's going to be just fine with these Edelbrocks on there. And also I went to an electric water pump. I got the regular high volume or high pressure water pump off of there because the 481 was slinging belts off. So I went to ICT billet brackets, a new power steering pump, and a electric water pump. So electric water pump, all that's going, everything that was on the 481 is going on the 402. It's going back in because next weekend is tailgate throwdown. Matter of fact, 7 days from now, 6 days from now, because today is Sunday, 6 days from now is the tailgate throwdown, and I've got to have Candy Kane ready to race. I've got the 481. I'm fixing to pull it out. I got it out completely unhooked. I did find that I had some other issues. I noticed in one of my videos that the motor was doing this number. When I took off, the breathers were just about hitting the side, and I thought, man, I just put a brand new polyurethane high energy, well, not high energy, what is it, anyway, a polyurethane motor mount on here, and I thought it's already broke. But what happened was I went to a smaller diameter head bolt and also a smaller diameter washer, flat washer, and these motor mounts perches have holes in them about this big, and you have to run a big washer. So I went to a smaller washer, and I didn't realize that the bolt and washer went straight through, and the engine wasn't even bolted to the truck. So kind of a blessing that the truck only made 2 passes with it. Started having a few issues with it, so I decided to pull the engine out. When I checked dropped the oil filter, and had I wasn't happy with what I seen, because that possibly would have busted my transmission case flexing like it was. Anyway, you live and you learn. I made that mistake, and I'm fixing to be 50 years old, and I'll keep making mistakes as long as I'm a human, I guess. Anyway, we're going to get this 402 put back in Candy Kane so that we can make the tailgate throwdown and race. We're going after square body stuff, Chad. We're going after the 339, and we're also going after Streetcar Chronicles, who's got like a 476 big block, and that's what I was going to race with the 481, because we kind of have the same setup. So I'm going to race him with the 402, and I'm going to kick his butt regardless. So we'll see how that goes. But no, it's going to be a blast. We're going to have a great time. A lot of good people I want to meet at Tailgate Throwdown. And so I got to get Candy Kane back together for this. So let's get the 402 put back in Candy Kane. First we're going to get the 481 out, swap one motor mount, put some bolts in the flex plate, put the starter on, and get it dropped in. Let's get it done. Here we go, it's the next day. We just finished hooking everything up on Candy Kane. I got under it this morning. I hooked the torque converter up, tightened up the transmission. Got all the exhaust on here. We just got the water filled up, checked the oil, it's good. Got the plugs gapped, put in. I think everything's set. Now we need to get the timing light out. We're gonna see if it'll fire up and set the timing. Once we get the timing set, we'll get the idle set good. And then it'll be ready for a test ride. I got to get my coil wire put on. I just noticed that. So let me get the coil wire put on it, and then we'll be ready to get some oil pressure built up and then fire it up. All right, I got oil pressure. I got the timing set. I've got my idle set almost about right. Looks like my fuel pressure's dropping off pretty fast. I don't know if that's a float. It's leaking. I put new floats in this front carburetor. Maybe I should put new ones in the back. But anyway, we're going to fire this thing up and see how the old junkyard 402 sounds. Got okay oil pressure, charging, and it's not warmed up all the way yet. Only had it running about 5 minutes. Sounds good under here. We got blow by. I hooked the PCV valve back up because this engine does have a lot of blow by, and it was smoking pretty good under here. Got the timing set good. Check this gas cap. been having problems with this gas cap messing with my fuel pressure. I might have to adjust that. Anyway, we're getting pretty close. I'll be taking it for a test drive here in just a couple of minutes. Alright, we are headed for a ride in old Candy Kane with the 402 back in here. I added a 1-inch spacer to that back carburetor to jack it up a little bit and make it look better because my hood's slanted. So that actually looks better. I think we're going to be okay with the tunnel ram on the 402 for now. I'm not going to drive it hard because I want to make sure I get back home. Ain't nobody at my house to come get me if I break down. So, and I got slicks on the back of it. So I'm going to turn around up here and head back home. I think everything's going to be good with the 402. So we're ready to race at tailgate throwdown this weekend. Hopefully it don't get rained out. It's going to be a blast. Alright, we're back. Test drive went good. I did stop right up here and make sure in first gear that it was going to take the two 750s when I stomp it. And it did. It liked it. It don't pull nothing like the 481. But it pulls like a junkyard 402. And I think I'll be fine for racing this weekend. But man, it does not have the power of the 481. I've got to get that thing figured out, find out what's going on inside that, and get it put back in here, because the power on that is a whole nother level compared to this 402. Looks like I gotta adjust the hood on the back because it's barely touching the back of the breather. But I got it cooling off now. It did get up to about 195. It's a little bit higher than I want it to run. So I'm going to pull my, I lost my gas cap. That's good. I'll go find it. Anyway, test drive was good. Alright, so to wrap this video up, we're going to look at the 481, and I'm going to tell you what happened, because I've had a lot of people asking me what happened to the 481. And what happened was all my fault. I bought a new distributor for the tunnel ram because the HEI didn't fit in there. The HEI that I've been running was locked out. I had it welded shut. It had no advance in it. It was locked out, so I would set my timing at 36 degrees and it would stay there. When I bought this new distributor, I thought that I'd bought a locked out distributor also. I just didn't check it. So I put it in there, set my timing at 36, and it was adding about another 11 or 12 degrees to that. So I was running over 45 degrees timing on those two passes that I made at Newport. On the second pass, it didn't like it. This engine is about 11.5 to 1 compression, maybe 11.6 to 1. And I was running a 4 to 1 mix of 1 gallon of 110 octane to 4 gallons of 93 octane gas. Which should be good with the cam that I have, and this compression should be just fine at the proper timing. So I had too much timing, and this is what happened here. We blew the head gasket out right between cylinder 3 and 5, and the damage that caused was the block's okay, but it burnt my head a little bit right here. So I've got to take this head and get that welded up and then get them surface ground. This block has been decked. It's a 0 deck block. The pistons come exactly flush right here. I've already measured all that. So I went ahead and got set up to check my piston to valve clearance, and I'm good. I've got like 240 thousandths on the intake and 205 thousandths clearance on the exhaust. So if I need to take a little bit off the heads, I can do that. Whatever the minimum amount is, I'm going to take off, because I'm not trying to get my compression bumped up too high, because I don't want to have to run straight 110 octane gas. Although I may convert it to E85. E85 is very forgiving. when it comes to compression, and so we may look at doing that. I've got to buy a new carburetor anyway, because once I put the 481 back in the truck, it's going to have a Victor Jr. intake, and I'm going to run a either 950 or 1000 CFM AED carb on here, Holley AED carb. Tunnel ram's going to stay on the 402, and the 402 will end up back in the 64 Chevy at some time down the future, down the road, for my grandson. He's not getting this big engine. He's going to get the 402 in there with a tunnel ram when I give it to him in 7 years. So that engine will be rebuilt and freshened up for him by then. But for now, this is what happened. I put too much time in. I blew a head gasket. The bottom end is fine. I've got the oil pan off of it. I checked everything out. Everything still looks brand new, because it is. It only has 3 passes, 1 on the street and 2 at the track. Everything's still new. The oil pressure was still 80 psi hot and 65, or 80 psi cold and 65 psi hot, and that's with the oil contaminated with water. It still had excellent oil pressure, which I only started it for a few seconds and turned it back off. So I'm going to get the head fixed. We will get some good Cometic head gaskets going here. I'm not going to go back with the Felpros. I'm going to put something a little bit stronger on here, and I'll get my timing right from now on. It's a costly mistake on my part, but I'm human and I make mistakes. So I'll get this together. We'll get this 481 back in Candy Kane, and we'll get it ready for No Name Nationals, because the tailgate throwdown has been pushed off to October, so it's going to be a couple weeks after No Name Nationals. So I want to get the 481 running, get some testing on it, back in the truck for No Name Nationals, because I'm going to try to be the fastest truck at No Name Nationals this year. I know Andy Woods is bringing Casper, and he makes a lot more horsepower than I do. His truck's nice and heavy, and I think it'll be a decent run against each other, depending on what Casper ends up running like when he's done with it. But anyway, that's my goal, is to be the fastest truck at No Name Nationals, and then be a competitive truck at the tailgate throwdown, because we have some super fast trucks coming from out of Texas and some other states to the tailgate throwdown, which is in October. Anyway, that's where we're at, and that'll wrap up this video. I have taken the truck to George Ray's since I put the 402 back in there and raced it, and that video is following this video. So hit that like and subscribe if you want to see what's happening with the Candy Kane and the 481. Go ahead and hit the notification bell, and you'll see every video that I get posted. But this is the problem we've got with the 481. It's not a big problem, and I should have it fixed pretty quick. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video on Big Block 402, and I'm gone.